In this video I'm going to take a look at creating an external style sheet. Now an external style sheet allows us to move all our styling to a separate page. So this is now my index.html page. I can create a separate page and put all my styling on the separate page. Now the advantage of putting all your styling on a separate page is that it's cleaner. You don't have to have if you have a lot of styling, it'll take up a lot of space in your head. That's one reason. And the second reason is that if you have an external style sheet, you can use that external style sheet on other HTML pages that you create. So portability is one of the reasons why you would want to create a CSS file and put all your styling in there. So let's actually create a page. File and save as create new, and it wants to be a CSS file, so I'm going to do a file save as, and you want to look for a CSS files cascade style sheet, and I guess it's here. So I'm going to put style. I'm going to call it style.css. That's going to be the name of my style sheet. Save it. And here we have the style.css. Now I can just take my styling right out of here, and I can do a file save, and I can just copy, Control V, copy my style in here, and file save, and let's see if that works. Got that saved as well. I'm going to refresh, and you see I've lost all my styling now. All the styling has gone. So how do I get my styling back? Why is this not affecting my HTML code? And the reason is that for one, we don't need these style tags anymore, because we basically, by creating a style.css page, the file knows that it's a CSS file. It doesn't need those style tags to kind of tell your browser that it's CSS information. So let's take let's just save this here. And the other reason why it's not working is basically there's no connection here. We have to have a connection between these two files. Now to make that connection, you can do that in the head of your HTML page, and you use the link tag, link, and the first attribute is the relationship. What type of relationship is between these two pages? And basically it's a style sheet relationship, and you also need to put what type of file it is, and it's a CSS file, text or CSS. That's the standard they use. And you also have to know put the location of the file relative to this index.html file. And what I mean by relative, I'll show you in a minute. So you need the href here. Href is equal to, and all I need is the actual name, style.css, and just close that. And because the location of this style sheet relative to this index page, the style sheet and the index page relative to each other, they're in the same directory, which I can show you. Let me just save that, and if I go file, just open here, you can see they're both in the same directory. So they're relative to each other, they're in the same directory. But let's say if I created a new folder and called it CSS, and if I had moved my style sheet inside of that folder, then the story would be different. Then I would have to make what would the relationship, or what was the location of that style sheet relative to this to the style sheet? It would be different. It would be inside the CSS. So you would write something like this. You would have CSS and style sheet. So this is the folder. That's if I had it inside, which I don't. So I can just leave it like that, and file and save. And now let's make sure this is saved as well. Yes, it's saved. Let's go back to our index and let's refresh this page, and let's see if anything happens. And there we go. All our styling came back that we originally had when we had it in the head here. So that's external file. Well, let's add a couple more here before I end it off. You can see how, let's do paragraph 1 there. I'll add some other things here. Color purple, and let's do a okay, I'll take let's do a font size, let's do 32 pixels. Another one you come across quite often is font family, and that is basically if you wanted to name a listing of the preferred fonts that you want. So Georgia, like say you wanted to use the Georgia font, and beside that you would have serif here, serif, and then you would finish off with the semicolon. So notice how these are all separated by semicolons here. You should put your semicolons in your file. Now this is just for the ID para 1. So color is purple, font size is 32, and the font family. Font family, so it means basically it's gonna search on your computer, the browser like Explorer or Firefox. They're going to search on your computer, and if this font is installed, they will display this font. If that font is not installed, then it'll move on to the next option, which is just a serif font. And a serif font, it's not actually a font, it's a whole family of different fonts. There's a whole bunch of different serif fonts. So it'll look for an alternative serif font if it can't find the Georgia serif font. So that's what font family is, and you'll see this quite often as well. And you got color purple, font size. Okay, that's good. Now let's see if that works. Go down to our index here and refresh, and there you go. You can see the font has actually changed to Georgia. You can see the difference between the two fonts, and you can see the color as well, and the bigger font size. Okay. Now that's it for external style sheets. And well, I was trying to end this again. I want to show you one more thing, and that is the style sheet for your inside of WordPress. The WordPress 2012 style sheet is also is available to you through, if you go to Appearance and you go to click on Editor, and you can see all the files here. You can choose the style sheet is the style.css is the main sheet that will control the styling of your 2012 theme. And you can actually edit this file and update the file, but it is actually better not to edit your style sheet in the main style sheet here from the theme, because when a theme update is done, you're going to lose all the changes that you make. So there's a better way of doing it, which we'll take a look at here. Just be aware that the style sheet is available to you inside of the dashboard through the editor here, and you can modify it. Actually, all these files down here are all the files that make up your 2012 theme.